What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today in for a review, we've got Justice League on Vudu and iTunes 4K. The physical disc doesn't come out for another month, so this is the best quality we'll get for now. I won't get into any plot details, but this could possibly be the best comic book movie of all time. I'm just gonna give you my thoughts on the video and audio quality. Now for some tech specs. The movie was shot on 35mm. It supposedly has a 2K DI. It's rated PG-13. Runtime is 120 minutes. Aspect ratio is 185:1. So if you're watching on a TV, you'll get a full screen image. So for image quality, I started off watching the Vudu version first, and I thought the overall image looked like a very good Blu-ray. It just wasn't as sharp as some other 4K streams I'd seen, and it did have a slight softness to it. There were also a few scenes during the night where the sky would have some noticeable banding. I do have a pretty fast internet connection, and I was also using Roku Ultra to watch it in HDR10. So if you have a different streaming device than I do, it may look a little better than what I saw. I also used an Apple TV 4K to watch the movie in Dolby Vision, and I thought it looked much better than the Vudu version. I'm gonna guess this version is gonna be a lot closer to what the physical disc is gonna look like. Sharpness looked excellent, with close-ups being extremely detailed. The peach fuzz on Lois Lane's forehead was very visible, and so were all the wrinkles and individual strands of hair in her head. The detailing on Wonder Woman's costume was rendered exceptionally well, all the way down to the scratches and imperfections in her armor. Color saturation looked great in HDR. The sky in Chapter 12 had several shades of reds and oranges, all blending together seamlessly with no imperfections. Black levels were deep and very contrasty, which added some very good depth to many of the scenes, while still retaining shadow detail. Spectral highlights can be found almost everywhere you look in this movie, from interior lights to the reflection off cars, or even the red glow of Cyborg's eye. Explosions had some super bright peaks and made me squint more than a handful of times. Now if you're familiar with Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman, you'll know there's some pretty visible grain in those. And this is very similar, just not to the extent of BVS. Some scenes have a very visible grain structure, which may have been added in post for visual effect, and other times, like in Chapter 12, when Aquaman is giving a speech, there's almost no grain and the image is crystal clear. This may look a little different from the physical disc, so we're just gonna have to wait and see.
Oof, you're gorgeous.
Audio on the iTunes version is only in 5.1, but the Vudu version is in Dolby Atmos. The iTunes mix was okay, but the Vudu mix was demo-worthy. Soundstage was nice and wide with some excellent overhead effects. There is a part in Chapter 1 when Alfred is talking to Batman, and you can hear Batman talking in the upper rear of the room while Alfred is in the front of the room. It took me by surprise, but it sounded very cool. The entire third act has parademons flying everywhere, with explosions and debris falling from above and lasers being shot from every speaker. Bass was hard-hitting and went pretty deep, but from watching other streams and comparing them to the 4K disc, I'm expecting better bass response and some better detail when I get the disc on hand. So for audio quality, I'd have to go with an 8.7 for the Atmos mix. It's demo-worthy here, and it's sure to be even better when the 4K Blu-ray comes out. For Vudu video quality, I'd have to go with a 7.5. My stream looked marginally better than a Blu-ray, and it did have issues with compression and banding. For the iTunes version, I'd have to go with an 8.5. It was very sharp, but not as sharp as the best 4K Blu-rays, especially on a larger size screen. Now, your Vudu stream may look different than mine if you're using a different device, like the inbuilt TV app, Xbox, or something else. But for me, it looked a little weak using a Roku. So if you hate having a shelf full of cases and enjoy DC movies, I think it's worth a purchase. It isn't the best comic book movie, but I thought it was fun and definitely worth it to show off your home theaters. If you're interested in picking up the 4K Blu-ray, I'll leave a link in the description down below. Be sure to give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and check out our social media links. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you again in the next one.